The question is on the social and security unrest along the border around Tijuana. Some time back, there was a lot of mobility, really free mobility. Many people left this region to go there, and a lot of business. So how has that affected business in the region, coupled with the time at the border, the time lost at the border, and the social unrest in Tijuana?
Okay. Right now there is a security issue that is affecting all the relationship, the economic relationship, the social relationship. We have the drug cartels that are trying to stay and doing business the way they are doing. And we have a very, very important issue. See, the perception is bad for the region. So we have to figure out how we can work together, because I don't think the answer to what is going on is to make the border more difficult to pass, because there are families that are interacting in both sides of the border, and there's a lot of economic interest. The commerce in San Diego are being very affected because they depend a lot from the income of the Mexicans from the other side that came here and make their do all the things. So they try to find another ways to have better understanding and try to figure out how to open more the border. So what I showing you, it's a cooperation from the scientific and research and development. Is an important opportunity to try to open up more the borders between institutions. It looks like it can be more easier if we work together between institutions, between Alliance University, Universidad Autónoma de Baja California, between other research centers, between the government. So it's a new, it's trying to open a new bridge of cooperation, because it's the violence it's strong, and there is the man issue in the United States from drugs now. So we're dealing with an economic problem. If the United States doesn't reduce the demand of drugs, the war are going to be still there, and it's going to be very hard and very difficult for the government to end to this situation.
Thank you.
And I did want to mention, I'm sorry that I was late. I thought you guys were going to take longer. The vision of the program, the NAFTA program, or the North American Competitiveness, is probably a better name of what we would like to call the program, because it's really about integrating and exploiting the economic opportunities that are there, or developing them, I guess the better word. So really that's something that we're trying to be a change agent, I think, in this region. And we're hoping UABC could be a partner, for example, next year, so that we could have people from the border, people from southern Mexico, because that's two worlds too within Mexico, and also the energy that we're connecting with in Quebec. And there really seems to be a strong connection. I would say last year we were in BC, this year we're in Quebec. I think there's a stronger connection with Quebec, the French language, the Spanish language, the status that the French have in Canada, and the Spanish-speaking folks. So I think it's, that's the long-term vision, is that, yes, it's about educating these students, but it's also about creating change agents and creating leaders who have, a vision like, these folks haven't been to Mexico City. They're going to see a whole different view of things, and hopefully that will lead to closer integration in terms of the clean tech and the technology areas.
And not only that, what we see in the news, for example, that
right.
we see the bad face of Mexico, and it's not that is not Mexico. There's a lot of different issues.
Yes.
So the important thing is to make bridges between us and between institutions. We just told him it's difficult from the scientifics in a research center to work with the business in a company. So the important project of impulsing a regional innovation system is to try to connect things. We can start between our institutions, and then to try to figure out new partners and new forms to work together.
And would you say that Baja California would be higher in terms of R&D spending? Because we had a report in Quebec that Quebec, the province of Quebec, and they consider themselves almost like a nation, but in any case, had a much higher R&D spending by a full 1%, I think, than the rest of Canada. So do you have any sense of, like, for example, has Baja California got a higher rate of investment in R&D than other?
As you can see here, there is the percentage of research and development as a percentage of the GDP.
Yeah.
For example, for all the continent, the Americas, it's 2.28. For the U.S., it's 2.79. In terms of Mexico, it's a very low investment in research and development. It's 0.4%. In the case of Baja, it's 0.8%. It's almost double because we have 2 of the 27 centers, research centers of Mexico that depends of the National Science and Technology Council, the CONACYT. 2 of these 27 research centers are in Baja California. One is Colegio de la Frontera Norte for social studies, and one is ICESE for natural science studies. So there are an important conglomerate of researchers in the region, and that's why they see to work with Baja as an advantage, because of there are a lot of very good researchers doing scientific research. So the important thing, or the important issue, is how we can put those scientific research into practice. So we convert in innovations that go to the market and to have some profit. No, the regional innovation system concept was developed by the Europeans, because they say in the 80s we had a very good scientific research, but are the Americas and the Japanese those that benefits from our research? So the regional innovation system is a concept that they try to figure out new forms of cooperation so they can participate in all the global value chain. That's an important strategy, and the region, as you can see, is very important.
Pues entonces quiere decir que en Baja California es donde se hacen realmente los trabajos de investigación y todo eso, como para que puedan crear ese convenio con los que están aquí en San Diego y todo eso. O sea, realmente es donde hacen todo ese trabajo, ese esfuerzo, es ahí en Baja California, en sus centros de investigación.
We had in Ensenada, the CICESE, we had a very good physics, applied physics, optical physics. We had biomarine biotechnologies. So they're doing clinical trials. They're working with charts to see the effects of the cells. I'm not a technician, but they're working to cure new diseases, for example. So there's a very good research. The problem is that all they want is to do the research in their laboratory, and we don't have a better impact in the rest of the society. So the regional innovation system, there's the University of Texas. It's go to CICESE to see very good ideas to bring angel venture and capital angel to try to implement those ideas. But I think it's better if those ideas stay in the region between San Diego and Baja California, and now that go and make a better impact in another part of the world. It's good that the scientific research do a better impact anywhere in the world, but we need those outputs, no?
Okay. And I was going to build on that comment as well, that San Diego used to not be very entrepreneurial. I mean, if we look, 20, 25 years ago, maybe 30, 20 years ago, okay, during the first recession, it was largely a military complex. And I think UCSD has played an incredible role in terms of that commercialization that you're talking about. And they have really thought through the relationship with government, the relationship with para-public organizations. So, for example, Connect, which is tremendous impact in the San Diego area for entrepreneurship. So, Connect was a spin-off of UCSD, and Connect is basically connecting all these high-tech companies so that they can learn. Okay, what about looking for patents? What about dealing with venture capitalists? What about licensing agreements? You can pool that knowledge, and I think I totally agree that that's what's missing in Tijuana. And if you look at the maquilas, you could kind of make an analogy. I don't know if it's a good one, but between the maquilas and the former military structure of defense contracting that you had here in San Diego, well, the maquila is, dominating the region, and the military investment used to dominate the region here. And UCSD played a key role in changing that. And now we #1 in biotech in the country, #1 in solar power, and that's all because of the entrepreneurial energy. So I completely agree. The commercialization process, and does Connect, do the folks in Tijuana go to Connect events, or they, I know crossing the border is such a hassle, but. Or is there something, like I know the conference Innovadora, is there something in Tijuana that is similar to Connect at this point?
It's very hard for us, as we were talking about, the cultural implications. The culture is very different. The government, we have how to say this? A very large leap between what a very strong gap between what are you doing in terms of business and what we need to do. So you are, I don't know, 40 years ahead, but if we can work together, maybe we can start closing those gaps. So there are going to have a new opportunities. An important finding is that in a study that we just made, it's not more the multinational corporations that are in Mexico and America Latina are not doing more research than the nationals. Meanwhile, in China and in India, they are doing more research and development. So an important issue is the skill of the people. How we are going to ask for the multinationals to do more research and development or more engineering and design if we don't have the skilled people. The opportunity that we see right now in Baja California is that we are producing a lot of engineers. The main problem is that the engineers, instead of doing engineering and design, are doing more
management or?
Manufacturing?
Basic work. That's the main problem, because they are very good engineers, but they don't have the side of the business. So when somebody with very good knowledge in business and somebody with very good engineering skills, they can do a lot of things. And we are going to try to work in doing those groups in the university.